Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on Akashteer. That's India's new AI-powered air defense command and control system. You've probably heard the name, especially, after Operation Sindoor.
Right, it's a good debut.
Exactly. So our mission here, to get past the headlines, we want to understand why people are calling this thing a game changer.
And what that battlefield success actually means, yeah.
Consider this your shortcut, basically, to understanding what looks like a really significant development in air defense.
Yeah, we've gone through the official stuff, the tech specs, the strategic takes. We're aiming to pull out the core insights for you.
We'll cover, everything from how quickly it was developed,
Which is remarkable in itself.
to how it apparently performed against some pretty sophisticated threats.
Very sophisticated, yeah.
And it's interesting, people are already making comparisons, like to Israel's Iron Dome.
That comparison keeps popping up.
Okay, so let's dive in. Operation Sindoor. It wasn't just a drill, was it? It was Akashteer's first major real-world test.
The proving ground.
But to really get it, we need to look at where it came from. The why and the how behind Akashteer.
Absolutely. And the why is really rooted in India's big push for self-reliance, the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. This wasn't just, wanting to build things at home. It was a fundamental strategic decision about autonomy, especially in such a critical area.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't something they bought off the shelf. We're talking a 100% indigenous stack. What does that mean in practice?
It means the guts of the system, the microprocessors, the software driving it, even the navigation. It's all designed, developed, built in India.
Okay.
And that's huge because it means no reliance on foreign GPS, which, can be jammed or denied in a conflict.
Or just switched off by someone else.
Precisely. That big contract, the 1,982 crore one for Project Akashteer with Bharat Electronics, BEL, that was March 2023. That really cemented this whole indigenous approach.
So it's deeper than just saving money. It's really about security.
Yeah.
Operational control.
Fundamentally, a crucial distinction.
So who were the main players involved in actually building this? Sounds like a massive effort.
Oh, it was a real national collaboration. You had the DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization. They likely did the core concept, the foundational tech.
The brains behind it initially.
Yeah. Then BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited, they were key in actually building it, taking the concepts, manufacturing, making sure it could be produced at scale, indigenously.
Right.
And interestingly, ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, their involvement points to integrating space assets, especially their own NVIC navigation system.
NVIC. We'll come back to that. So DRDO, BLL, quite the team.
That synergy was vital.
What really stands out, though, is the speed. Contract in March 23, seeing action in May 25. That seems incredibly fast for defense procurement.
It's astonishingly fast. It really highlights a leap, I think, in India's defense industry capabilities, how efficient their processes have become.
So when did the first units actually roll out?
BEL got the first 100 units out by September 2024, then another 100 plus by November 24.
Yeah.
And the plan is, 455 units total by April 2027? That kind of speed, that agility, it's a huge strategic plus, lets them adapt much faster than usual.
Okay, origin story covered, impressive speed noted. Let's get technical. What exactly is Akashteer doing? What's under the hood?
Okay, so at its core, Akashteer is what they call an ADCNRS, an air defense control and reporting system.
Right.
Think of it like the brain and nervous system for the whole air defense network. Its main job is to pull in data from everywhere.
Everywhere meaning?
All sorts of sensors, weapon systems, Army, Air Force assets. We're talking S-400, Akash, Barak 8 missiles, satellite intel, ground radars like 3D tactical radars, low-level lightweight radars.
So a lot of input.
A massive amount. And Akashteer fuses it all together, creates this single, real-time 3D picture of the entire airspace, especially focusing on that tricky, low-level area where drones and missiles often operate.
So it gives everyone the same view.
Yeah.
In real time.
Exactly. And that shared picture allows for a much more coordinated, effective response. It's like that air traffic controller idea you mentioned, but for combat and supercharged with AI.
Okay, the AI part. That's the headline grabber. The zero latency AI combat cloud. How does that actually work? Sounds very futuristic.
Well, the zero latency part might be a bit aspirational, but the core idea is speed. The AI algorithms sift through that flood of sensor data incredibly quickly. They automatically spot potential threats, figure out how dangerous they are based on, say, speed and trajectory, prioritize them, and then they can either recommend the best way to engage them or potentially even initiate the engagement sequence almost instantly.
Wow. Faster than a human could possibly manage with all that data.
That's the idea. It dramatically cuts down reaction time, which against a supersonic missile or a drone swarm is absolutely critical. It shrinks that crucial window between detection and interception.
And you mentioned India's own navigation system. Why is using that such a big deal compared to, say, GPS?
Two main reasons: precision and independence. AVIC is optimized for the Indian region, so it offers potentially better accuracy there.
Okay.
But the independence part is arguably more important. Relying on foreign GPS or GRAM-LONASS means you're vulnerable if those systems are degraded, denied, or spoofed by an adversary.
Right. You lose control.
Exactly. Using NAVIC means Akashteer's positioning and timing data is secure, reliable, and under India's control. Crucial for mobile units and accurate targeting, especially in rough terrain, it's strategic security.
The system's mobility also seems key. Mobile command units. What's the advantage there?
Well, firstly, survivability. A fixed command post is a target. Mobile units are much harder to find and hit.
Makes sense.
But maybe even more important strategically is how it enables decentralized decisions. Meaning units closer to the action, tactical commanders on the ground, they get that fused Akashteer picture directly. And they're empowered to make engagement decisions fast.
So decisions don't always have to go up the chain.
Right. It speeds everything up. Makes the whole defense network much more agile, more responsive, right at the front line.
And looking ahead, it's designed for things like drone swarms and preventing friendly fire.
Yeah, the architecture is meant to be adaptable. Integrating future tech like autonomous drone swarms is apparently part of the plan.
And friendly fire. Always a risk in complex air situations.
A huge risk. Akashteer's ability to track everything friendly and hostile accurately and continuously is designed specifically to minimize that risk. Better identification means safer operations for your own forces.
You also mentioned it links up with the Air Force's existing systems, the IACCS.
Yes, seamless integration is key. Akashteer feeds into and works with the Indian Air Force's integrated air command and control system.
So it bridges Army and Air Force assets.
Exactly. It helps create that unified national air defense picture, all coordinated under the Joint Air Defense Center, the JADC. No more stovepipes. Everyone sees the same thing, enabling truly joint operations.
This all sounds very much like network-centric warfare principles, shortening that OD loop: observe, orient, decide, act.
Absolutely. It's textbook network-centric thinking. Connect everything, share information rapidly, make faster decisions.
How does Akashteer speed up each part of that loop?
Well, observe is enhanced by fusing all those sensors into one clear picture. Orient is accelerated by the AI analyzing threats and prioritizing them instantly. Decide is faster because information is shared widely, and commanders, even at lower levels, are empowered to act. And act becomes more coordinated and effective because everyone's working off the same playbook.
So you get inside the adversary's decision cycle.
That's the goal. React faster, more decisively, gain the advantage.
And the data sovereignty point, using India's own NAVIC and COM systems, that's purely about cyber and electronic warfare resilience.
Pretty much. In today's environment, you have to assume adversaries will try to jam, hack, or disrupt your systems. Relying on indigenous secure navigation and communication links makes Akashteer much harder to take down electronically. It adds a vital layer of robustness.
Okay, I think we have a solid grasp of the what and how of Akashteer now. Let's pivot to its trial by fire. Operation Sindoor, May 2025. This is where the rubber met the road. What was the spark?
The context was a major terror attack in Pahalgam. India responded with what it called targeted counter-terror strikes across the border.
And that predictably raised tensions.
Significantly, which led to Pakistan's aerial response.
And it wasn't just a couple of jets crossing the border, was it?
No. Reports describe a sustained, multi-pronged assault over several days, May 7th to 10th. We're talking fighter jets, missiles, armed drones, loitering munitions.
Targeting key Indian bases.
Yeah, installations like Awantipora, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, even down towards Bhuj. A widespread attempt to hit critical infrastructure and test defenses.
And Akashteer was right in the middle of coordinating the defense.
It was positioned as the nerve center, the core C2 system managing India's whole integrated air defense grid during those days. Its job was to take all the incoming data, make sense of it, and direct the response.
So how did it do? Under that kind of intense pressure, The reports sound pretty glowing.
The reports are indeed very positive. They talk about seamless detection, tracking, and neutralization of threats. Phrases like puncturing multiple waves and ruthless precision are being used.
What kinds of specific threats did it reportedly handle?
A real mix. Reports mention things like Chinese-made PL-15 air-to-air missiles, long-range rockets, various types of loitering munitions, sometimes called suicide drones, and also Turkish-origin drones, like the Bayraktar types.
So countering systems from multiple countries, including some fairly advanced ones.
Exactly. That's a key point. And DL, the manufacturer, came out saying Akashteer proved its mettle and performed beyond users' expectations. They even used that phrase, hell, for Pakistan's air adventures.
Strong words, but the most critical outcome.
Reportedly, 0 Indian casualties from the air attacks and minimal material damage. That success is being directly attributed to the effectiveness of the air defense shield orchestrated by Akashteer.
It's important to stress again, though, Akashteer wasn't acting alone, right? It's the conductor, not the whole orchestra.
Absolutely crucial point. Its power comes from integrating the layers. It coordinates the S-400s for long-range threats, the Akash and Barak 8 systems for medium and shorter ranges, potentially older systems too. It makes the whole system work together efficiently.
And the fact it reportedly took down advanced Chinese and Turkish systems, that sends a message, doesn't it, geopolitically?
Oh, definitely. It directly challenges the perceived effectiveness of those systems when facing a modern integrated defense. It boosts India's tech credibility significantly. It says, we can counter advanced threats regardless of where they come from.
So Operation Sindoor was more than just a border skirmish. It was a real-world validation. Akashteer passed its test.
That seems to be the narrative coming out, yes. A major validation of India's indigenous capability.
Which brings us to the strategic implications. This feels like more than just a new system. It feels like a shift.
I think that's fair to say. It certainly enhances India's air defense posture, gives it a technological edge, and bolsters deterrence in a very complex neighborhood.
And for the Make in India push, a huge win.
Absolutely. It's like a giant billboard advertisement for India's defense industry, proving they can deliver cutting-edge, battle-proven systems.
We mentioned the comparisons to Iron Dome, but some claims go further, suggesting it might be, quote, faster than anything the world has fielded in terms of AI decision speed, and potentially better against stealth drones.
Those are bold claims, often seen in initial analyses or commentary after a success. Whether it's definitively faster is hard to quantify externally, but the focus on AI for speed and its design for future threats like drone swarms does suggest a very forward-looking system. The potential integration with dedicated anti-drone systems could indeed offer advanced capabilities there.
Could this success actually turn India into a major exporter of these kinds of C4ISR systems?
It certainly strengthens their case dramatically. Having a system that's not just lab-tested but battle-proven, especially against modern threats, is a massive selling point. There's also an element of, well, information warfare here, too.
I see.
The narrative that an indigenous Indian system successfully countered advanced foreign systems used by Pakistan that can undermine confidence in those foreign systems while boosting India's own image and technological prowess.
What's the rollout status now? Are these systems widely deployed?
Well, the plan is for 455 units by April 2027. We know over 200 were delivered by early 2025, so deployment is well underway. It's designed to be scalable, redundant for survivability, and upgradable too.
So it's not just a one-off. It points to a broader capability India is developing in AI warfare and military modernization.
I think that's the key takeaway. It signifies a growing proficiency. Now, it's worth noting, the sources we've seen focus heavily on the successes. They don't really detail limitations.
Which is typical, perhaps.
Yes, and like any system, maintaining an edge requires constant evolution. Threats change, countermeasures improve, so ongoing development will be crucial.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. The main point seems to be, Akashteer is a major step for India's self-reliance goal in defense.
A huge milestone, yes.
And its performance in Operation Sindoor, as reported, really validated its role as a powerful force multiplier for their air defenses.
Exactly. It's a clear demonstration of indigenous innovation and growing technological strength in a critical area.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. How might the success of systems like Akashteer indigenous AI-driven start to change the global arms race? The future of air combat itself.
Yeah, what happens when AI-powered defense becomes more common? What are those wider implications? Definitely something to think about.
Indeed. Lots to ponder there. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.